Okay, here you have a self-heating HotCan food on the move by HotCan. This is the vegetable chili option, and as it says, the can that heats itself, ready to eat in 8 to 12 minutes. I'm going to twist it around. You have here all the ingredients, and this is indeed a good vegetarian option, and of course the directions for use. So I will perform this just quickly. It takes 8 to 12 minutes, and what I'll do is I'll come back as I progress through the cook. Okay, once you've got the tin on the lid, using the tool that's provided, that's actually underneath the lid, you want to actually stab down in each of the 3 holes on the very top, all the way to the very, very bottom. So you want to do that 3 times into each of the 3 holes. I've actually already just done this. It's a little bit difficult one-handed. And then you want to actually open the ring pull lid. Now it's got a sort of inside ring pull, so it's slightly recessed. And I'm going to just peel this back. And this is not also easy one-handed, so I'll come back to you when I've peeled that off. Okay, you can peel this right the way off, but I've just done it halfway because all you need to do now, whilst it's cooking, is to stir it occasionally. So you do need to lift the lid because it now needs to A, you need to stir it, and B, you don't want any air pressure in here building up as the unit actually gets hot. Okay, we're a few minutes in now and you can see it steaming away quite narrowly. You can also hear it. As you stir it, you can hear the odd escaping hot gas bubbles. You stir it a few times as I'm doing. Still got a little way to go. Until all the reaction, and you can hear and feel the reaction going on in the can, and only touch, by the way, the outside like I'm doing now. Don't touch the metal because it does get very hot, but I can hear and feel that the reaction is still going on. Haven't exactly got a watch on it, but I've been about 8 to 10 minutes now, so there's a few more minutes left. It says it's between 8 and 12, so I think another couple of minute leeway and it'll be ready to eat. Okay, all the reaction's finished. I can feel that the can isn't doing any more of its slight vibrating and rumbling. The food's nice and hot when I stir it. I can see it steaming. So it's time to tuck in. Now, once it's boiling hot, but it's certainly warm, hot food. I mean, it's steaming, but I can easily eat it immediately. I certainly don't want to leave this much longer. The outside can is still nice and warm, so it's particularly nice warm thing to hold. Again, being careful of the metal. So as you can tell, it's rather cold, so I'll warm my hands on this whilst I eat. Just wanted a quick little close-up of the inside of the tin, whether it's still steaming food. So I've still got a little bit left. It does narrow a little bit, so you've got inside there the ribs of a normal tin. Of course, you've got lovely hot chilli. It's attracting some dogs nearby. Got a dog just right beside me now, but as you can see, it's all steaming away quite merrily and really quite hot. You really do need to stir this, so I really recommend you get yourself a good spoon. And it's not stupidly deep, so a decent enough size. Certainly a warm meal, and it's perfect for cold weather. Okay, this is the actual hot can I've just used and eaten from the video. So this is the empty tin, and I just wanted to give those that are interested in the actual total weight. Here's an unused full tin of the HotCan vegetable chili, and as you can see, we're adding up to about 866 grams there. So you've got a tin where inside you've got a 400 gram portion of hot chili. So you've got an 866 gram tin when it's full, brand new. That's what you'll carry into the field if you were interested in the actual weight, but you're going to be bringing home still 460 grams. So this dead weight, I guess some people will call it. I'm of course going to carry this out because I want to recycle what I can. I'm just going to move the scales out of the way now. So like I say, this is the actual tin you just saw me eat. Very nice it was too. It's empty. I've washed it all out, and of course I've got normal bits of metal I can recycle, and the tin itself can be recycled. Now I'm actually going to strip this down a little bit and talk about what's actually inside the tin. So what was the reaction going on? So HotCan use a system where you have calcium oxide powder form and a seal area of water. So within the tin, so what you're actually doing when you push the spike through, and I know I showed it on the video, but I also rewatched what I did, and I did it a little bit off camera. So you actually really need to push that spike all the way to the very bottom. So I'm talking about flat of palm as far as it goes. Now it is a little bit difficult then to get out. You do really need to, you know, catch the edge as it overhangs the tin, and it's quite a good firm slide in and out, and that's because they've designed it well so that none of the and I guess you can call it chemicals. Calcium oxide in itself is pretty safe, water in itself is pretty safe, and when it reacts, obviously giving off an exothermic reaction, you'll be left with, so in effect in this tin I've got calcium hydroxide, which sounds all very scary and all very chemically, but to be honest, people know that as lime. It's safe enough. Yes, it's got some toxicity if you actually eat it, so don't puncture the tin itself. But it can be used in food preparation, pickling lime even in some places. So it's not an intrinsically dangerous chemical compound, but neither is it one that I'm going to say, yeah, let's rip this open and have powder everywhere. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, up to you if you want to. Okay, so this itself can be recycled. A couple of things I did, perhaps if you've used these before, you'll know there's a good way or a better way of doing things. So this is the lid and also the stand. So also the lid comes this way, and I used in the field my tin on the lid, and although that's absolutely fine most of the time, and I'll show you what I mean with this unused tin, because it actually stacks a nest, it's quite secure, it doesn't slide around too much on the lid. However, when the reaction takes place, the bottom of the tin is slightly ballooned now, so that's how ferocious the actual reaction going on was, that rumbling. So this totally indented tin, this normal kind of ridge, as you can see, locks onto a lid, no problem at all, doesn't slide around, as you saw in most of the video. When the reaction was complete, it was actually then possible to slide around, and that's because it's bulged out in the middle. So by far the best way of using the lid is as is intended. You actually put it and it clicks on. There we go. So it's a little bit difficult to do, which is probably why I didn't do it, but it's definitely the recommended way, and it's been cleverly designed to have some little plastic feet inside, so that you have, as you can see there, a good 4 or 5 millimeter gap between whatever you're standing on, the lid and the tin, to keep the heat and the surface apart. So really well done, HotCan. They've done a fantastic job here. Really good tasting food. I'll have listed the ingredients on the video earlier, but all natural. There's only one E ingredient, and even that's a natural one. So a really good result. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to cut. This is really because I want to recycle, as well as show you how they do this. I'm going to cut the there we go, this label off down this particular seam, and you'll see what I was feeling for when I peel it. And what you'll see is not only is there a little bit of paper, there's actually some foam backing there. So you've got about 2-3 mil of foam. Now I peeled that off because that isn't going to recycle so well, but it also explains how the temperature, so this is quite thick if I put this on sideways, you've got some nice padding there. So it also explains why you're not burning your hands, and it also adds a little bit of a sort of thermal property to the tin whilst you're eating it. So all in all, very well recommended. I've used HotCan for quite a few years. They've got a typical shelf life of between 1.5 and 3 years, depending on your source and how good they are at giving you absolutely fresh, top of the range products. They've got a real range of foodstuffs, from all day breakfasts to chicken curries to soups, as well as this really good vegetarian option. I particularly like this because not only are you getting a hot meal, you're also getting some spices in you, and it's got a kind of sweet, warming, spicy taste to it, which I particularly like. So thanks for watching. I'm now going to recycle the bits I can. That's going in the bin as well with the foam, but I've got here now a nice little tin for recycling and a spare. Thank you for watching.